Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome to another live stream. This is of a 1994 horror thriller with the late Donald Sutherland. May he rest in peace. The Puppet Masters. Yeah, not Puppet Master from Full Moon. This is a different movie. This is an hour and 49 minutes, so let's get started. I'm ready to see this, and then I don't have to watch it for the holiday until Halloween, maybe. Yeah, let's go. Let's do this. It kind of starts off slow because the creatures here are like giant small manta rays that get on people's spines. It's kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's an underrated movie. This bombed at the box office and was a critical failure, but it's not a bad movie. Sometimes a hidden gem can be found in any form of controversy. It's very well shot. Who directed this movie? Stuart Orm. Yeah, I never heard of him. But just like with Deep Rising, it's also an underrated film as well. But I did that one already. So the third movie was some stupid Dolph Lundgren movie I hated. I couldn't watch it again. I think it was called Dominion. It was horrible. Here's the red-headed, freckle-faced kids. Yeah, they look like the kids from Stranger Things. Yeah, they do. So if anything, the Duffer Brothers took a lot of ideas from 80s and 90s movies with Stranger Things. You have, the token black guy. You got the chubby kid. You have the nerd. You got the kid with the frizzy hair. You got the loner. You got the girls. Yeah, they took a lot of cliches, but at least they turned it on their head. I don't remember a movie like The Goonies having a sidekick in it, but whatever. Welcome to Ambrose, Iowa. Yeah, a small southern state. I'm glad I'm doing this movie because I was going to do it last year, but I didn't have time. Now I have time. My sister's still at work, so I want to just kill some time as fast as I can. There's some big name actors in here. Donald Sutherland is the biggest, and then you have Julie Warner. She's in this movie as well. You got Yaphet Kotto, may he rest in peace. I just saw Alien, and a few others as well. But it's underrated. I think this is a very entertaining movie for 1994. It's not boring. It's not 2.5 hours. They don't have to explain too much. It is what it is, guys. Robert A. Heinlein's The Puppet Masters. So to distinguish it from the Full Moon movies, because those are completely different. Those are with killer puppets. This is something different. Eric Tall's in it. Yeah, he's not a good actor. I didn't like him in the Gun and Betty Lou's Handbag. Julie Warner. You got Keith David. We still have him. We still have him. He was in The Thing. Carpenter's version. Will Patton. We still have him. Richard Belzer. Marshall Bell, Yaphet Kotto, may he rest in peace, man. I'm a good actor. Glad he got work after Alien. Jerry Badman and Tom Mason. Nicholas Cascone and Bruce Jarcho. Benjamin Mountain, David Pasquisi, and Andrew Robinson. Look at that plane. Hello, John. This movie didn't deserve the hate that it got. No, it doesn't deserve it. It's an underrated movie. This and The Faculty, I think, are much better 90s films than a lot of the horror movies we get today. Yeah, fight me on that one. You know why? Because Megan 2 is not even a horror movie. It's a sci-fi action movie. I'll see it. I saw the first one. And also other horror movies that came out this year. The Woman in the Yard. I didn't want to see that. I heard it was boring. Hello, cutie. Oh, she was in an episode of True Jackson. I remember her. Yeah, I miss Donald Sutherland a lot. President Snow from the Hunger Games, for all you Gen Zs out there that saw those movies. Yeah, was a great actor. I miss him a lot. His son is still alive though, Kiefer. Keep going, man. Maybe I'll meet him at Comic-Con one day. I shaved my head because I wanted to shave my head before the summer really kicks in July. And it was very hot this week. It was like 101 degrees, and it felt like 107. Today's in the 70s, so it's warm, but it's not like unbearable out. Daniel Aldomino is a production designer, and the effects are good. It's not bad CGI like in later movies in the 90s or the 2000s or the 2010s or present day. Because nowadays everything looks like a digital cartoon. Yeah, it's based on a novel, this movie. Didn't read the novel. Val just doesn't have any screen presence. He's very boring. Sutherland had it. Julie Warner has it. Even Yafakato and these other actors. But this guy's just very flat. He has such a haunting voice. A lot of movies based on novels were not hit movies. This was one of them, and so was the. I think the Relic was based on a book, and also Phantoms. I thought the movie was underrated. Did I do a podcast for Phantoms? I don't know if I did. No, I don't think I did Phantoms, but I'll wait till October to do that one. I just wanted to do this to get it out of the way. Plus, it's a Saturday morning. What do you expect? Just frizzy hair. I like her hair. You people. Hmm. Look, people love barbecuing outside, so this is a perfect summer movie. People are having, I think it's a carnival or something. It's a very well shot movie, and it didn't have to cost $100 million. Movies back then didn't have to spend a big budget that much until Titanic came out, because that was a big budget movie. I mean, the first $100 million movie that cost that much, I think, was Terminator 2, because they were using state of the art special effects at the time, and then they did that again with Titanic and True Lies and all these other movies. Nowadays, that's the norm. Like every big budget summer blockbuster has to have a budget of at least 100 million or more. I don't know what F1's budget is, but I don't care because I'm not interested in a racing movie. I think racing is boring. Except for the pod race in Star Wars, I don't really like racing too much. I think it's kind of pointless. You go from point A to point B to finish a movie, and I'm like, to finish a race. I'm like, just don't like racing. That's why, while I respect the Mario Kart franchise, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I play it, but I'm more into the Mario RPGs and platformers and such. So there's a UFO. Besides, I haven't done a '90s movie in a couple of days. So the last film I did was Swindle. Wasn't it Swindle? Yeah, It was Swindle a couple of days ago for Ariana's birthday. I didn't do a podcast yesterday because I wanted a day to rest. He's right though. Right, because there's aliens in this movie. This movie may have bombed just like Elio did, but it's going to find an audience. Because Elio will find an audience on Disney Plus. Snow White did, and Captain America. Just because a movie doesn't do well at the box office, it's not the end. There will always be an audience for it, either a cult following or a streaming following, where people will stream it at home and be like, "Oh, that's fun." Sorry, guys, it's not the end. Yeah, we're only 3 days away from the month of July, which is long. It's 31 days, and so is August. But at least there's some things happening. I'm not going to be bored out of my mind like I was in the month of January and late December. Because after Christmas, it just goes downhill. After that, it just becomes winter. Doll's never been in a box office hit to save his life. At least Donald Sutherland was. The remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers in the 70s, and also the Hunger Games films. Because Kids in the Woods, that reminds me of Stranger Things. Even though there's less kids here, and there's no little girl. It's just a grown woman. The next season of Wednesday, that comes out in August, and so does Peacemaker. And, this first half of Wednesday. It's not going to be the whole season. And also, what else is coming back? I know there's another show coming back in July or August. But that's stuff I'm looking forward to. See? Got a lot to look forward to. And I'm seeing Ironheart in July. Screw you incels that call that show woke and ghetto and racist and all that. You guys are just a bunch of freaking clowns. You don't know what a good show is if it bit you in the face. It's 3 episodes, guys, not 6. It's only the first 3, and I'm going to see them in July. I don't care what you think. I care about what I think. Because I like the character. She's never going to replace Iron Man. She's not Iron Man. She's Iron Heart. Heart, not man or woman. Just Iron Heart. That's it. I don't hate the character because there have been way worse characters in the MCU in Phase 4 and Phase 5. And you know who I'm talking about. Okay, we're 13 minutes in. Gotcha. You should have shot him on the head, you fool. You don't shoot someone on the shoulder. They could still live from that. Head or the chest. Yeah, there's the creature. You finally see it 13 minutes in. It's a cool looking design, too. They look, like I said, manta rays, like alien manta rays. It's a practical effect, too. Yeah. It's that thing that killed poor, Steve Irwin. It's a really good practical effect. Again, unlike The Hidden 2, which is a bad movie, this is a much better movie than that. Or if you've seen The Empire Strikes Back, it looks like a Minoc. No, don't impregnate me. A good practical effect. Why this wasn't a hit is beyond me. When there are movies that came out in 1994 that are way worse than this, like that Car 54 reboot. That movie was horrible. It was the last 15 minutes that I liked. That was rude. Yep, he hit. He hit a woman with a staff, and again, not with a staff, with a walking stick. Yeah, they're doing the news, and they're not. No one's stopping them. You know, if this was today, these people would have gotten arrested on the spot because you know how many surveillance cameras they have in buildings like this. In '94, they were starting to get surveillance cameras, but now they have cameras where you can't even see them. They're so small they can fit in your pocket. No, get up. The acting is fine in this movie. It's not Oscar worthy, but it's serviceable. Tall just has the same look on his face for the whole movie. It's very boring. He's a very boring actor. That's why he never caught on with audiences, like like Donald Sutherland did. Even Kiefer Sutherland, he was making a name for himself in the '90s as well. Once he did 24, he was a huge star on TV. Watch it, watch it. Again, that was a really good stunt. How did he survive that? It's a movie. In Fast and the Furious, that would have been a Tuesday. Them jumping through glass windows. Yeah, these guys jump through glass windows like they're Batman or something, and never get a scratch on them. Because again, those movies are cartoons. They didn't start off that way, but they got way more cartoonish after the fifth one. KFC, that still exists somehow. Even though Popeyes is better, the chicken is way better. That's why there's more Popeyes in this area than KFC. 98%, yeah. I'm not even worried about the chat because I'm like, I've been through worse, guys. Tomorrow I'm gonna do Doom, the 1984 version on my phone. Monday I gotta find something else to do for the last day of June, and then that's it. July 1st is gonna be Ben 10 Race Against Time. The music is really good too in the film. Who does the score? I guess I could shut this off for now. Who's done the music? Colin Towns did a good job. Even though it's not a Carpenter theme or John Williams or Danny Elfman, it's still a good score. And this movie doesn't have any cartoonish antics in it. It's it's taken seriously mostly. But it's not a. The movie's not a. It's not a car. It's not a melodrama. The alien. And I'm glad that the aliens are like manta rays and not in human form because those nowadays when they put aliens, they just put them in human form. What is that? A Jawa? Hmm. There's Keith David. Are you ready? Yeah, I am ready. Are you ready? The avocado comes later in the film. Yeah, Keith David's always good in everything he's in. The Thing, John Carpenter's what was it? Uh, They Live. He was great in Princess and the Frog as the main villain. Dr. Facilier, yeah. His voice fit that character. Plus, he was a creepy looking villain. He had a hat and those crazy eyes. Yeah. He's a memorable villain. That's the problem with Disney movies now. They don't have any more memorable villains most of the time. Hmm. Footage. Hmm. And this movie came out before Independence Day, so it wasn't that. Because aliens were huge in the 90s. You had Star Trek, you had Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, you had Independence Day, you had Men in Black, you had what was another movie that had aliens that was huge in the 90s? Well, Mars Attacks didn't do well, but it got a cult following. Yeah, there were a lot of movies in the 90s that had aliens in them. A lot. Hmm. Like Blue Beetle. Well, it got attached to his spine and became, it controlled him. But that movie was just underwhelming. And I like the effects and some of the action. It made me laugh once or twice, but overall, the whole package, it was missing a lot of ingredients to make it work. Plus, it had to pander to Mexicans so much. I'm like, damn, why did you just call it Mexican Blue Beetle? It would have been more honest. I'm not Mexican, guys. So I don't get that whole culture. I don't. I've never been there, and I see them every day, every time I leave the house somewhere. And they come in droves. They can't even be by themselves. They have to be in groups. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, because hemoglobin is in human beings, not aliens. That was funny. Yeah, that was a good line. Yeah, see, Keith David, man, he delivers. He does, man. This guy looks like Henry Dean Stanton. That's not a coincidence. It's not him because he was probably too busy doing another film. It was. Yep, there it is. And I love science fiction. You know me. I'm all into aliens and time travel and spaceships and you know um you know other galaxies. I love that. That just drives me crazy, man. I'm into that space. All space is all around us, and I'm fascinated by it. I am. It fascinates me. That's why you think I'm so in love with Brie Larson and Captain Marvel. It's not just because she's a woman. I like the spectacle as well. It's a very good looking film. People keep forgetting. It's like, oh man, that looks terrible. No, it looks, the first Captain Marvel was a good looking film. That they were able to make the 1995 look like 1995 with CG and reworking. Because again, Blockbuster Video doesn't exist anymore. There's only one left in Oregon, and I've never been to Oregon. Would love to go there at least once just to buy a movie again, because I haven't bought a movie at Blockbuster in over a decade. Are you ready? But yeah, I have a lot of tender memories from Blockbuster in my youth. So when I was a kid, all the way to my 20s. It'll always be a part of me. I rented a lot of video games at Blockbuster. I rented a lot of VHS tapes, DVDs, not Blu-rays. I didn't have a Blu-ray player when Blockbuster was around in the 90s and the early 2000s, so I just rented VHS and DVDs and video games on the Super Nintendo, the PlayStation, the GameCube. Well, no, not the GameCube, the Nintendo 64. Look at his back. Ooh. It's a very underrated movie. I think it deserves better. It has a Blu-ray release, so if you want to see this in high definition, it is on Blu-ray, and I think it's on streaming, but you have to pay for it. It's not free on Tubi or anything. And sometimes they do put it there. If they ever put it on Tubi, watch it. It's worth their watch. And watch it widescreen. Don't watch the full screen version on VHS because you're not going to see everything. Widescreen letterbox is where it's at because you can see everything. They don't like cut half the screen or like a corner of the screen. They show you everything. Shirtless, and you're still not a good actor, Eric Thal. I would say if this had a better looking guy and a better actor like Brad Pitt or Matthew McConaughey or something at the time, this would have been a huge hit. Or who was bankable in 1994? Or even Keanu Reeves would have been great, but he was doing Speed. So, and I have to do a podcast for that in the summer, July or August. So I'll find Speed and I'm going to do it. Because I love Keanu Reeves. I know people are like, oh, he just talks like this and everything. It doesn't bother me, guys. I had to sit through accents this year. Beautiful boozum. I had to suffer through accents this year in Moana 2, Johnny Lingo, and a bunch of other stuff, and it was killing me. Keanu doesn't have an accent that takes me out of the movie. He doesn't. I'm sorry. Or a show. Or even if it's a cameo, he doesn't. Like I said, it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and The Thing. I know it doesn't have the great effects that The Thing had, but because you know how The Thing that people it could duplicate human genetics and turn into the into a human. Of course, they screwed that up in the prequel, but whatever. This is way better than the 2011 Thing because the effects look way better. It's a better production. It's got better actors. Oh, this woman is strong. This thing that's on her makes her. Wow, you're not even going to punch her? I know it's a woman, but again, she's possessed by that thing. Michael Dudikoff has more screen presence than this guy. Clear. Yeah, the thing that this creature doesn't like electrical currents. Thal's just not a good actor. He has no presence whatsoever. I wish it was somebody else. Hmm. Jarvis. We all went through withdrawal. When I couldn't go to Comic Con for 2 years during the pandemic, I felt a withdrawal, and also the movie theaters. I had a withdrawal for over a year. Again, because I missed it so much. At least I'm going back to Comic Con in a few months. My sister's going to get my badge, and it'll be sent in the mail in September. Ah. Yeah, antennae. We're 31 minutes in. Yeah, this is not a classic like Alien, but it's better than Alien 3, which came out a few years before this. That movie also bombed, but it's a bad movie. Studio interference ruined that film. It really did. And Ripley had to look like this? Why? This is not as good as the chest burster scene from Alien, but rest in peace, sir. Hmm. Do you have a crowbar? So boring, this guy. He's the reason that this movie's not a cult classic like The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Because I'm like, all the actors in that, there's no women in that movie, but it's a great movie because they had Kurt Russell, who's one of the best actors from the 80s, and he still is. This guy didn't get past the 90s. Eggs. They're eggs. That creature is procreating. I think asexually. Yeah. See, it's just like it's just like in the thing, but that's the thing with Alien, the creatures come from an egg from a queen. In this movie, the creatures reproduce asexually, the way plants and animals do. Not human beings. We cannot procreate asexually. That doesn't exist, guys. It does not exist. There's no such thing as an asexual person. That's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. Only plants and animals, certain animals, mainly frogs and lizards, can procreate without a mate. That's a really good shot. See, Erectel is so terrible. He had to be possessed by the alien creature to have a personality. It's like in Virtuosity. If Russell Crowe wasn't a cartoon in that movie, it would have been much better because they made him and this is before he won his Oscar. He's such a cartoon. And I'm like, he's not American. Why do you have to give him an American accent? Do you think I'm stupid, Hollywood? That movie was awful because he's trying to be like Jim Carrey or something, and you're not Canadian either, so it's awful. That performance was so bad. Denzel was fine, but Russell Crowe's just a cartoon character. His dramatic stuff with this comedic performance doesn't match at all. It feels really out of place. 36 minutes in. Oh, because there's no alien queen thing here, like in Aliens. This is a hard R. It doesn't hold back. Even back in 1994, the fact that this flopped is I don't know why. It's not a bad movie. The Car 54 movie was bad, and it was made in 1990, like right after the 80s ended. You could tell it was made way earlier because it didn't look like a 1994 movie. It looked like a 1989 film. But it wasn't just the look of that movie. They missed the point of the show completely. Now I know why it gets a terrible reputation on IMDb, but I'm sorry, Ironheart does not deserve a 3.7 on IMDb. You guys are you're fools. You think anything that's different is like the worst thing ever made. Yeah, you have no idea. Hey, another good stunt. It's amazing how a movie like this got made and got released, and yet a Batgirl movie never even got released. Or that 1994 Fantastic Four movie, which I guarantee you will be better than that new movie coming out because it was faithful to the comics. It just didn't have the budget and the writing to get released. If it did, it would have been better than this piece of junk we're getting in July, which I don't care about. I'm sorry, two Brits as a Storm siblings, that's a fail to me. Fail. I don't care if they look like they did in the comics. You didn't cast American actors. You didn't even get Canadian actors. You got Brits. Shame on you, Marvel. Shame. You're obsessed with them. And Disney. Mm-hmm. That looks like a place where they would do a Comic-Con. It really does. Yeah, that looks like the Javits Center in Manhattan. Love that place. Place has got so much personality and atmosphere. It's just great. Yep. Right in the back. Wow, he can't even act when he's being possessed by creatures. What are you yawning? You know how you know they're aliens? They don't blink. 40 minutes in. Parasite, like COVID. It's not a good idea. No, don't buy you. Kill him. I don't care about this character. Oh no, not Eric Fowl. I'm just happy that it's not going to be 100 degrees next week. You having an orgasm? It's not one. There's many. This movie's only 3 minutes longer than, according to this, than Deep Rising. One of us. Blue, 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 blue. No, you don't. a good practical effect. Still holds up even after 30 something years, like 31 years. Yeah, because this is 94 and it's 2025. So yeah, it still holds up. I don't know why on earth this movie was a flop. I know it's an idea that's been taken before. It's the execution. It's not the premise, because Inside Out's been done before many times, but it's the execution. Just it's what you can bring new to the table. Chick, 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 chick. Oh, my legs. The sun. The sun. Desmonis River. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've never been to Iowa before. I've been to Ohio, Virginia. I've been to Florida. I've been to PA. I've been to Jersey. I've been to Delaware. I've been to Connecticut and Massachusetts, but I've never been to the West Coast. The White House. Yep, they show the White House. Yep, I know. It's just how COVID got spread in 2020 and 2021. That's why I had to get vaccinated, so I can live, so I can fight. I didn't need to see that. Please, I can't take this. You have PTSD. That's right, kiss her. Look what it says in the back here. Sutherland provides a refined luster for this under herald gem of the alien invasion genre. Highly recommended. DVDtalk.com. G. Noel Gross. Yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Because this is not a bad film. I've seen bad films from the 90s, and this isn't one of them. There's the eggs. Even the way it opens is like the eggs from Aliens. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they always see something. At least these things don't bleed acid like the xenomorphs because they look completely different. Yep, gotcha. Yeah, they made that shh sound. It's kind of creepy. Uh-oh, the kids are infected too. Look at the map of the world. No picture. The military, they always get involved. There's Yaphet, almost an hour into the movie. 56 minutes in, he shows up. You people. Even the military are infected with those creatures. Apes. It's not a slug, it's like a manta ray. It's like Planet of the Apes when they did that in the later films. Don't worry, no animals were harmed in this movie. Again, no animals were harmed. Because, movies might not do well. They would be canceled if any animals were harmed on set. That's why they use so much CGI now. But we don't want to hurt animals, but you can use real animals and not hurt them. They use real dogs in a lot of movies. John Wick had a real dog, not a CGI dog. Do you miss me, Sam? Now, this is still better than Pacific Rim Uprising because it's not almost 2 hours. Really? This is Yaphet over a decade after Alien, because Alien was 1979. This was 1994. So, they lost a reception. Yep, they're infected. We got about 40 minutes left. Hey, look, it's Uncle Frank from the Home Alone films. This was after Home Alone 2, yeah. I forgot what that actor's name is, but he's, Uncle Frank from Home Alone 1 and 2. The good ones, the best ones. The classics that I watch every Christmas with my family. Because they're classics. I saw the first two in the theater, so. The second one I saw first when I was 7. And then this first one, when they re-released it 10 years ago, I went to go see it. It's such a classic. I laugh every time I watch it. It's funny how one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time has a lot of slapstick at the end. It doesn't start off that way, but let me check when the Home Alone came out. November 16th to 1990. This year's the 35th anniversary, so I got to watch it November 16th. When is that? October. That's a Sunday. I'll see it. I saw it on a Sunday back in 2015. It was in early November because it was the 30th anniversary. Well, no, it was the 25th anniversary. Wait, 25th anniversary. Because 10 years ago was the 25th, and I was laughing out loud. There were people sitting right next to me that were laughing as much as I was, because I love that movie so much. A cat. We're almost done. We got an hour. We're an hour and 4 minutes in. So, touching. .360 shot. You're giving what to who now? That's funny. Gonna have to put this on my lap and just lie down because my legs. Don't worry, I still got it. There, much better. You can still see me, guys. We're an hour and 6 minutes in. love her frizzy hair. It's so cute. This guy's like half awake in this movie. She has it. He sees that thing again. It's like you're not. So I killed that thing. That was pretty easy to kill it. Her body is lovely. Again, people jump through a window and they don't get cut up or nothing. It's a black cat. Yeah, he's right about that. Minneapolis, Minnesota. You think? Exactly. Just like when the pandemic happened, they had to avoid people and social distance. Mm. Avocado was basically a cameo. He doesn't really serve a purpose in this movie. I like seeing him there, but he doesn't do much. Keith David at least is in the plot. the colony. Getting bigger. It's 12:42. The movie will be over by 1-ish. Ugh. There's the military. So the streets are empty. Looks just like 2020, 5 years ago. Happy birthday. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. An hour and 16 minutes. Yep, it's a big colony of people, like drones. It's almost done, I promise. Just a few more minutes. I didn't want to do a 2 hour movie today because that's a lot for Saturday. He was already possessed in the beginning of the film by those things. That's a cool effect. Yep, seen this in War of the Worlds, the remake. An hour and 20 minutes. One of us. Bright light. Wake up. There's a creature. I gotcha. Take that. It's almost 1 o'clock. Yep, look. They put a cocoon in there. Some really good practical effects in this movie. There's no bad CGI in this movie. None. That's why it looks better than some sci-fi movies that came out this year. I guess some people thought this movie was too derivative of Alien and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He's in his underoos. Instead of a little girl like Aliens, it's a little boy. I'll get up now because the movie's almost over. It's a kind of a long movie, but not too long. It's not. Dune is way longer than this. That's why if I ever do Lord of the Rings, I'm not doing the extended cuts anytime soon. I have to do them in parts. There's no way I could do it in 3 hours. It's going to take too long. There we go. Clear. There we go. Yep, explosions. Plenty of them. Yeah. This is almost as long as Unbreakable was. Except this is not as depressing in that movie. It's got a sense of fun to it for an R-rated film. Of course, Keith Urban. Keith David had to you get possessed because he's the only main character that's black because Yafakado's a cameo. He didn't want to get attacked by an alien again just because he did Alien. hmm I usually like doing a long podcast because on a Saturday because it's a long day. Unless I'm out going out, which I will be going out more often than Saturdays in the month of July and August when I can. Yummy, 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 yum. The thing is, Keith David has personality in this movie. Eric Thal does not. He's just the generic white guy that's in every '90s action movie or sci-fi horror. Kylo Ren. Yeah, take that, old computers. Yeah, no one uses computers like that anymore. Now we use flat computers. This computer really works really well. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than the other Lenovo I used to have. It's a touch screen, so I could touch the screen and not have to worry about it so much. An hour and 31 minutes in. If this was made today, this would have been reduced to a PG-13. Yeah, and it would have not had half of the the tension that this movie has. The poor kid looks pale. You missed. Mosquitoes. It's 101 already. There's avocado again. Ugh, they got imprinted. I guess. Emergency Red Cross units. There was a lot of them during COVID, and also when Sandy hit or Hurricane Katrina 20 years ago. Can't believe that was 20 years ago. I didn't experience it because it was not. It was in the South. It wasn't in New York City. The movie's almost done. Thankfully, it's not 2 hours long. I didn't need to do a 2 hour movie today. We're in the third act now, so it's about to end soon. A hole in the ceiling. Seen that before. We're plumbers. Sorry, I think it's something funny. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something funny. Because this movie's not a comedy, so I'm thinking of that Donald Duck cartoon with Pete, the Riveter, where he shakes pepper in his face and he sneezes so hard he sneezes a sandwich. That's hilarious, man. That's one of the funniest Disney cartoons I've ever seen. Because even as a kid, I'm like, that makes no sense. Who blows a sandwich away with their sneezes? He's like, mm-hmm. Of course, Donald Sutherland has to be bad because he's bad in a lot of his films. Not all of them, mind you, but It's a good stunt, but it's not Eric Dahl doing that. An hour and 39 minutes now. Mm-hmm. Even Venom did this, but Venom was a lot worse than this movie. That movie got box office hit. It was a box office hit and got 2 sequels, and it was a cartoon, a bad cartoon. Wow, he had no. They say Keanu Reeves is bad. At least Keanu Reeves has a career. Eric Dahl is not a good actor. Land this helicopter. Yeah, he has no screen presence whatsoever. He's the worst part of the movie. Not the effects, not the acting, not the writing, not even the premise, but this guy. He's got no presence whatsoever. You missed again and again. You lost a gun. Whoa. Yep, he's right on the gears. There goes the creature. An hour and 41 minutes in. Let's wrap this up. You little manta ray, you. Yep, it got cut. It's a good helicopter scene. It's not Mission Impossible, but it's serviceable. And I mean the older films, not the one that came out this year that's not doing well because again, it's way too long. I clocked it. It's 2 hours and 41 minutes. Why is it that long? The first movie was only half that running time. Yeah, half. An hour and 50 minutes. It didn't need to be 2 hours and 41 minutes. That's way too long for any action movie. Endgame again was an anomaly. That was one once in a lifetime. You're never going to have a Marvel movie that long again until Secret Wars comes out or whatever. Oh, come on, dude. No, he's not that guy, man. He's a weak actor. Yeah, no screen presence. Eric Dahl, I'm glad he never was a thing. It's like the guy that was in Species 2. He's a terrible actor. Uh, Instead of choosing Eric Dahl to play as Sam Nivens, they should have gotten a better actor. Yeah, they should have. He just has no screen presence. He's boring. He's not even a foreigner. It's just that he's flat. He's got that same look on his face, like he's squinting at the sun. Even French Stewart has more personality than this guy. If you've seen Inspector Gadget 2. Mm-hmm. I was there, Sam. We're just a few weeks away from Superman. I can't wait to see it. That's going to change everything. It's going to be DC's resurgence, and they're going to do better than Marvel because they're not going to do 8 movies a year and shows. They only got one movie and one show, live action coming back. That's it. They don't have 14 shows on the CW. Those days are done. Once once Gotham Knights flopped, they were like, yeah, we're done making these DC shows on the CW because they're not working. An hour and 45 minutes. That's how long the movie is. Yeah, they do if they want to hide everything. Yeah, it's a good movie. I just don't like the lead guy. It's a very underrated film. So if you haven't seen this movie, I would say see it in memory of Donald Glover. I mean Donald Glover, Donald Sutherland. Excuse me. It didn't need to flop though. I think because they saw Eric Thallo, that boring guy from the the a gun embedded loose handbag. Yeah, he just has nothing to offer. I wouldn't even want to see him at a convention because he's so dull. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Acknowledge me. And tomorrow I'm doing Dune, the 1984 film. It's a much longer film than this, but I have to do it because to kill time. So I'll see you then. Bye.